All right, Pratik, what are we doing today on your V12 Vantage S?
Well, Doug, we are going to attempt to dismantle the interior of this car and install the Naviks Carplay interface, which is in several pieces right here. So far, the Naviks people have been great about telephone customer service, been texting them pictures back and forth, but there are not great instructions anywhere on dismantling a V12 Vantage S, or at least the later model Vantages. The first thing we came across is there's a few videos online, great content about how to remove the ski slope or waterfall, as some people call it. Apparently, the later models are different.
And this is a 2015
This is
model.
a 2015. There are not spring clips here to remove this panel from the nav screen. There are not tabs to remove it. We looked it up in the workshop manual, and apparently the whole thing comes out with the waterfall. So we're going to attempt to do that and cross our fingers nothing untoward happens with the nav screen or the carbon fiber here.
All right, so here we go.
All right, here goes nothing. We already loosened the edges of this. Oh, man.
Whoa.
Okay.
It's out.
It's out. Yeah, it comes off as one piece, that is for sure. Okay, so glad I taped this. All right, so let's
Now
start
releasing.
to release some of these connectors.
All right.
All right. I guess we should preface anything else by saying that this is for information purposes only.
Trying to release it. Right. I know I think it's a pinch release.
It is.
Are you able to?
I think I'm pinching the right thing.
Do you want to get under here a little bit?
So after that last explosive moment, we've taped the center channel speaker up there because don't want to damage anything. Ah, there's one.
Okay. I'll have you show us how you do it on the far one because I can't see those.
So the tab is right here. It's on top of the connector. And so far, sport and reverse are identical. We'll save the starter. Okay.
Not coming out so easy.
Nope.
And what are you working on, the starter right now?
Yeah, I'm working on the starter. I'll take this one off. This one looks easier.
There you go. What was that one?
I have no idea. It goes to the starter, though. Looks like it might be lighting.
Okay. Just seeing from my angle. Oh, there you go. You got it. You want to show that one to everybody?
Okay, that one.
And the tab was where?
Tab is in the middle.
Watch your hand so you can't. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Your hand's still in the way. We can't see. There we go. Oh, hold on. All right. Tab is in the middle there. Okay.
All right. So the last thing is the display connector. It looks like there's a tab here. I might want to get a better vantage point to see what I'm looking at there. Yeah, it looks like that should be it. Now there's another one right here.
Let me get a picture of that real quick. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. There we go. Okay, that's released. Everything should come out now. There we go. Voila.
Okay, let's set this somewhere safe. So this is the back side of the waterfall or ski slope. You can see the tabs do indeed pull straight out at you. They do not lift up. And apparently 8 years is all it takes for this foam to perish. So there will be a trip to the hardware store today.
So what are we doing here, Pratik?
So we are trying to expose some of the screws under here.
And there they are. Okay, so we're about to remove the torque screws.
All right, so these are T25. So it turns out this is even more challenging than removing the center console, is this little leather covered trim piece that covers up the screws. So we were able to successfully get a curved trim tool to create some space.
Why don't you let me get in there and see what you're doing? Why don't you show me again? Go ahead, put your tool in.
Light over here.
Thank you.
Okay, so I was able to get enough space to get another trim tool in there to help lever this out, hopefully. I sure hope all this goes back the way it came in. They did not make this an easy disassembly.
And why don't you stop for a second and show me what we got? Okay. Oh, here, you just show that. Oh. Okay, you can see that releasing there. Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're just going to have to go along the whole thing to get it all released, but it is released right now.
Yep.
And we'll get back to you when we get it out and kind of show you where we're at.
All right. That was a struggle.
To release that, and that exposes the two torque screws.
T25s again.
Okay, so here we are taking out the last of those two torque screws. And then we're just pointing out that, Pratik, you want to point them out right here?
Sure, we have several Phillips head screws that need to come off before we can remove this piece.
All right, so we've removed all the screws back here. All of them are Phillips, and we're just removing this plate.
Okay.
That is that. All right, so here we go. We've removed all those, the two center screws here. We removed the screws in the back, and then now everything is going to come on out. Okay.
The first thing is the iPod connector, which has a very short cable to it.
Okay.
That must be what we were screwed into. Oh, looks like we didn't need to take those screws all the way out. Okay, and then...
Why don't you here, move your hand? Oh,
Nope.
Okay, all right.
Too late.
What was that?
That
So
was...
show the two leads that you have there.
So we have the iPod connector.
Here, show it to us.
Yep,
Okay.
iPod connector with a release right here, which is underneath it. This must be the auxiliary input.
Okay.
And then back here we have the cigarette lighter.
Okay, hold on. Move your arm. Okay. All right. That's that orange one.
Yep. And there's not a release tab. That's just a friction fit. And center console is free.
So this is what we have exposed right now, the whole center console. On to the next step.
So the next step in this is to take off these two Phillips head screws. Which come off fairly easily.
And when that's going to release what, Pratik?
So that should theoretically release this whole centerpiece here.
All right.
And it pulls up and out.
Up and out. Okay. Little twisting motion.
Yep.
And there you go.
Okay, so we're going to have to disconnect the factory eject button as well as the trunk release and the lock switch. I just taped across this so that we can rest it on there. And we do not have much lead here. So here, let me borrow this camera for a moment. These are the connectors for the cigarette lighter. And it looks like friction fit, so
Just pull out or tabs?
just pull out.
Okay. And on the back
affords
side,
us-
you have the same, you have 2 tabs there.
Yeah, this affords us a little more room. That comes out like that. Tab is right here.
Okay.
Another piece out. So the last piece of disassembly here is going to be the radio, or I guess you could call that the radio.
Climate control radio.
Climate controls.
Why don't you point out the 4
So there's
screws?
4 screws, 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay. All right. So the 4 screws have been removed. Pratik is starting to pull this center console out, climate control console out, after he removes some tape.
Alright, we'll address that later.
Okay.
Okay, something
Well,
just fell. That was...
I think that was just the. Oh yeah, there was something. Okay.
That was
Oh, washer underneath here.
here.
Okay.
Interestingly, there's not one on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay. I might need to get this from behind. I wonder if we even need to take this out.
Oh, maybe not. Yeah, actually, you're right. From the wiring perspective, we should be able to reach around behind it.
So we don't know if we need to pull this thing all the way out. For the time being, we're just going to set it there so we have access to the connectors behind it. And we taped up the leather to try to protect that. So next we need access to the space running up here because that's where the nav computer is behind there. There's one Phillips head screw here and some fir tree clips. So it looks like there's a hole that this screw could easily hide in. So be careful not to lose that. Or not. Not a lot of room for your fingers in here.
Okay, using the trim tool.
It's still not that easy.
Seems like down lower is where it catches, right there, yeah. Do you want a trim tool? Oh, there you go.
These are good fir tree clips.
There you go.
There's
There it's popping. There it goes. Here we go.
So this was not the easiest feed ever because it's just really hard to get these pieces off like we wanted to. There is a way behind that panel through this gap here. There's some sharp aluminum structures there. So we were very careful in feeding it. We're going to probably protect it with some split loom in a moment. But our plan at this point is to install the guts of the system here, so we just have the part that connects to the back of the climate control and radio fed up to the front of the car.
And then we're going to be adding AV cables, separate AV cables, running them back here so everything is in the back. So if we have problems in the future, it's all managed from back here. All right, so here is the cable we fed through. Here's the cable we fed through. And I'm going to show you where our access was. It was literally in this. Can you grab that other light, Pratik? It was really through this thing, okay? And I'm going to kind of show you where my hand went, okay? I went up into this space, and you can see, you can follow the wire that's coming down here. Oh, here, I'll get the camera in there a little bit. There's the wire. I literally put my fingers way up here into a teeny little hole that's maybe about the size of a, 2 50-cent pieces, I don't know. And I was able to get, kind of just pull my fingers apart enough, and Pratik was able to fish the line down, and I was able to grab the end of it and pull it through. So that's how we accessed it. I'll just document it. So Pratik just connected everything up, pretty straightforward, just follow the directions, but everything's now connected up back here.
So we still need to connect it to the nav. So the connection is actually conveniently located for us up here already. We tried at first to pull a connector that was relatively similar off the back of the nav unit, and it didn't fit. But Doug spotted this connector here, so that's where it bridges into the system.
All right.
Oh, we've got the main wiring harness running along the side of the car. There's space over here that will tuck it into nicely. We used a coat hanger, which was the crudest of tools, to pull this up here, and we will connect it to the back of the radio. Day 2. Yesterday we kind of finished up the day by splicing a female end into the a female 1/8 inch stereo plug into the wiring for the auxiliary input here. So over here you can see where we've connected the 1/8 inch male stereo from the kit into our new receptacle there. The other thing that I did yesterday is feed a video line from the boot area to near where the fuse box is in front. Although looking at the engine bay of this V12 Vantage, I don't see a real easy way through the firewall, so I'm not sure if I'm actually going to use this. Okay, this is the final resting place of the kit. The main control unit is set right on top of the navigation system like so. I got some double-sided tape on the bottom. In case I need to do a hard reset, I put the main harness facing out, so it should be pretty easy to reach back there and unplug that, plug it back in. The box with the dip switches is taped to the side of the car. I don't know that we can actually see it, but it's up and out of the way. Siri needs to use an external microphone when it's built into the car. They ship one with the kit. For lack of a better place to hide it, we have right here that should be fairly close to the driver, and I'm just tucking it along the underside of the center console leather here so that we can get it out of the way.
All right, so we're just starting to put everything back together, sliding around the back. This is in the front. First of all, replacing the 4 screws that held the climate control and radio control section. Just reconnecting the center section here. This is where the cigarette lighter is, etc. Just connecting 3 cables. And then, how many screws will it be, Pratik? 2?
2 screws.
2 screws on the back side of it. Okay.
Okay, so everything has snapped back in place. We just need to do a little interior detailing to clean up our footprints. So here's how it goes. So it's going to come up to the factory navigation screen. I'm going to hit this to disable that.
He hit the nav button.
Right, so now I'm going to hold the menu button for a few seconds. and we are into the Naviks navigation menu.
You want to hit the back button?
Right, so if anybody has seen the video on the Naviks site regarding Aston Martins, every time you did anything with the joystick, it would change whatever was on this screen here. Oh, by the way, CarPlay is starting while we're talking. So to get out of this, just hit the back button. Okay, now you can navigate through all the settings using the factory joystick. Oops. There. You have to be deliberate with your punches on the screen. So now I'm going to use the factory steering wheel track buttons. So actually, if you want to...
I got both.
Okay. I'm going to skip a track, and it changes as you'd expect it to. I'm going to use the back button. Getting our texts.
Yep.
So everything is working as it should. I'm super impressed. We chose not to install a front camera at this point. I did leave the RCA cable kind of bundled up above the fuse box in case I figure out a way to run through the firewall at a later date for a front camera.
So Pratik, now we're at the epilogue. We finished the whole project. You know, overall, are there any things that you'd like to maybe share with the audience, just as, you know, touch points that they should be aware of?
Sure. So first of all, the process, despite the length of this video, really wasn't as bad as it seems. The one area we struggled with was access, in particular that panel behind the driver's seat, like we annotated in the video. There's a way to get that off. We just didn't figure it out. We're not very good at this. So other than that, the system is great. It's truly plug and play. We did alter a little bit in that we soldered directly into the auxiliary wires just to clean up the look.
Yeah.
But other than that, we didn't really wreck anything in the car. There's no holes. There's no
even though when we claimed that we broke that plastic on that one panel in the back, everything went back together fine. So you know, and it's not loose. So I mean, no harm, no foul per se. It's not, again, it wasn't the ideal way of doing it, but we were able to get it back together.
Yeah, unfortunately, I lost access to my subscription to the workshop manual, and I just didn't feel it was worth the extra £100 to do it again.
Yeah. Other than that, Pratik, anything else we want to share?
No, I think I'm super glad that we did this.
The system works great.
The system does work great. Kudos to Naviks for putting out a great product.
We did share at the beginning of the video how good Naviks was about their customer service, but really to highlight it, we were working on this project on a Saturday and a Sunday, and the guys at Naviks answered their phone every time we called.
And you know, even if there was maybe one or two times where I got voicemail, they called back almost immediately. It was very impressive.
All right, overall, I would have to say that we agree that this was very successful, and we're very happy with the outcomes.
So Doug has a 2011 Vantage S. It's a convertible. We're going to be hitting that this fall probably.
Yes, and we'll film that then. All right, thanks for watching.